Today on the Daily Shed, we discuss the movie Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. Hello, friends. It's Monday. Welcome to the Shed, Movie Monday here on the Shed. You know, when we rolled into the third month, I had some ideas for segments like this that I wanted to do. And Movie Mondays was more an effort for me to actually consume more media. I don't consume a lot of television or film because I'm just too busy between jobs and doing this show and editing these videos and doing my online jobs. There's not a whole lot of time, and so I choose to be more creative. But I need a broader scope of influence to draw from, and so watching movies has always been one of my favorite things to do. I just haven't taken the time for it. So I thought, what better way than to watch bad movies and find positive things to say about them, because that's challenging for me. So I jumped on Netflix, and it's actually surprisingly difficult to find poorly rated films on Netflix. First, you have to pick a category, and then you have to sort it by rating, and then scroll to the bottom and try and mouse over to see. But so I cheated. Well, I didn't cheat, but I first went with sci-fi, right? Because it's really easy to make a bad sci-fi film. Because it's really easy to just screw up the science and the visual effects, and just it's almost on purpose. You watch a lot of Sharknado, for instance, is so bad it's hilarious, but it was on purpose. So the movie that we're watching, or that we watched this weekend, is this one. Yeah. Cowboys versus Dinosaurs. Now, if this had come out like 2010 or 11 or whenever Cowboys versus Aliens came out, I would have said, oh, this is the, spoof. Because there's always like those B-movie spoof things where they'll immediately follow a large production film with like this complete crap. But this came out in 2015. This is a new release. And the only reason I could think of is Jurassic World. This is their Jurassic World. So, why is this movie poorly rated? Well, it's obvious. It just is. It's one of those movies, right? That's so daytime television that it just kind of passes by without you realizing that it was there. And that's the first thing I'm going to say strong about this movie is it's a quirky take at sci-fi. The premise is that in Montana somewhere, the cowboy gets injured and just kind of leaves town, and he comes back to this town in the midst of a disaster. And the disaster was they're searching for uranium. They blow up the mine that was this massive antechamber that held prehistoric animals. And so now huge velociraptors, Tyrannosaurus rexes are terrorizing this small town. I'm not making that up. It's literally, the premise of this film is that these reptiles have been underground for millions of years, and they're now hungry for human flesh. So the amazing part about it is it's not so bad that you cringe at it. It just kind of passes by, and you're like, well, that happened. That's a movie. And that's actually one of the strong points of the film. It doesn't get in the way of itself. The second strong point was the cameraman, the cinematography. The director of photography was amazing. There's some really beautiful shots in this movie. Some very well done camera dollies, moves, pans, zooms, that sort of stuff. The cinematography was absolutely great. They did a really good job. And on top of that, the sound guy captured really amazing clean sound. You can see a couple of scenes that were dubbed, but for the most part, it's clean audio that appears to be straight from the cut. And it was great. So the sound guy, the video guy did an amazing job. Aside from that, there is some actual really good acting in this movie. You know, as all of these kind of extremely low budget movies are, there's not great acting all throughout, but a few of the actors really nailed their parts really, really well. And being the trope that it is, the whole movie's a trope. At the start of the film, we get to meet this character, like 2 minutes in, we get to meet the token black guy, literally the one black guy. And he gets to say, this black guy says, and this is dead serious, to a bunch of white people, come on you apes, there's work to do. Or something like that. Wow. And he goes on to be the only character that really has a clue. And he does die, of course. Then he... But I tell you what, it's one of those films that I didn't have to try to pick it apart. It has a 1-star rating currently on Netflix. It's not worth signing up for Netflix to watch it, but if you have Netflix and you watch it, there is some really good study in there. Aside from gaping plot holes and just tropey stuff, there's no gratuitous nudity, which is a good and a bad thing. There is a bikini scene that could have just completely hit the floor and nobody would have cared. But yeah, you know what? For my first week, not bad, but I kind of cheated. I picked a fun movie, right? Next time we'll pick something that's like a really bad drama, because those are much harder to sit through and much harder to say nice things about. So that's it for Monday. Thanks for stopping by, as always. Thanks for commenting on the video. Please go down there and leave something. Go watch the movie if you want. You can actually find the entirety of this film on YouTube if you really want to watch it. It's worth at least skipping around and seeing some of the scenes. Oh, there's a scene. You got to see the scene. In fact, I've got it. I ripped it, and I think. Yeah, right here. You get to see a cowboy ride a triceratops. How amazing. Anyway, that's it for today. My first movie Monday in the can. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for liking and commenting. Thanks for sharing this video. And I'll catch you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from thekitchen.com. KITCHN. That's hip. Where does bubble tea come from? You know, I didn't know what bubble tea was until like last week, I think. It was on Good Mythical Morning. This is a drink that originated in Taiwan in the 1980s and spread throughout Southeast Asia before finding its way to the US. Most of us think of bubble tea as being synonymous with boba, tapioca, pearls. But bubble tea was originally just a cold milk tea that was shaken until frothy. Okay. If you don't know what bubble tea is, Google it. It's actually kind of interesting. And like I said, I didn't know what it was until like maybe a week or two ago. I saw it on Rhett and Link's show.